Then the evolution of the medications came along. It was almost dizzying in how fast the pharmaceutical companies produced new medications, each one simpler to take, safer to take, longer lasting. And so now, of course, for many people who take oral medications, it's one pill once a day. That one pill has 3 medications in it, and those 3 medications are capable of totally reducing the virus that's present in the body and keeping it from reproducing so you don't get resistance, and making it so you no longer are infectious to others. It became known that when you reduce the virus in the blood, you also reduced infectivity from that person. And so really, from it being a public health measure in terms of a sexually transmitted disease or through drugs, it became a public health issue about prevention. Because when people who are infected take their medications and they no longer have viral load present on their laboratory tests, they cannot transmit this to anybody else. And so prevention means treating all of those who are infected, which means you'll have to find them first. And finding people with HIV is a lot harder than we ever thought. And most of it is because of stigma and discrimination. And I was always hoping that somehow as we became more capable of treating folks with this infection and they look just like everybody else, you just can't tell really that they're infected. I was hoping that stigma and discrimination would go away as well, but it never has. It never has. And if you ask people who maybe come in pretty late stages of their HIV disease, well, why didn't you get tested earlier? It's always the same answer. I was scared. I felt that people would toss me away and my family would disown me. And that's a heartbreaking kind of thing. So along, with a virus that just happens to be transmitted sexually, you also have all of these other stigma among people who may be black or brown, people who are gay, people who use drugs, and already have difficulties with their life in so many ways. And then if they get HIV, that's just one more really difficult moment for them to figure out, okay, now what? So that's the hard part, is actually finding everybody who's infected with HIV. Once we find them and get them into treatment, and the statistics on this are quite remarkable, almost everybody gets into care within a week. And many new programs actually will start people the day they're diagnosed, so that we really have opportunities to impact the disease in that person and halt it, because their immune system recovers. So the immune system comes back healthy again, and it makes them non-infectious, so they cannot pass it on to anybody else. And so if we can do this, then it's all about making it safe to get tested. So testing is a real big deal, and that's one of the emphasis now that we have. When we actually can look, now we don't have a vaccine yet, I'm not sure when that's going to ever come, but we have every single means to totally eradicate HIV in the world. Have everything we need. Testing and treatment, and now we have PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis. So folks who are at risk can take medications to make sure they don't get infected. The latest in treatment is an injection that you can get once a month. Talk about not disrupting your life anymore, it's huge. So on the biomedical side, the side where we have treatment, where we have medical care, where we do the lab work, that part has advanced tremendously and made it so much easier for folks to be able to get that virus under control. But the social part, we haven't done nearly as well with, where we fully accept people who are different than us, fully accept the fact that people are vulnerable, and accept that we accept people regardless of whether they're infected or not. And that's where we haven't made great strides yet. So I think until we can manage to figure out how to address stigma and discrimination better, we're still going to have HIV, even though We have everything available to stop it. And it's been my pleasure, of course, to be part of HOPES. In the beginning, in the 90s, when we were getting it all put together, and then being able to offer the kind of services that HOPES has always offered. Those that have been identified as being the most important. Case management, social services, help with pharmaceuticals, all the things that allow people to get their medication, take it, be encouraged, help them regain their lives in so many ways. And so it's been really a humbling experience for me to take care of people with HIV who've taught me so much about what it's like to be sort of on the other side of the fence, being very open in the way they view themselves and others, and then being able to celebrate with them as they get older and older and older. And they complain. We all complain about getting older, but oh, what a blessing to be able to get older and complain about it. And so that's been a real wonderful thing for me. And HOPES has been a part of that by allowing all the other services that are needed to take care of people the way they need to be taken care of, so that they can manage their own health care, they can manage their lives so much better. And so on this World AIDS Day, I cannot believe how many I've celebrated. It truly looks different. It truly looks different. We have a way forward, and I just hope we work on it a lot better.